Have you ever sorted anything by price, high to low? And if so, what was it? I'm in the early stages of house hunting. I'll set my upper price limit. Then sort high to low. Otherwise the first 3 pages of results are full of investment opportunities. Which is code for the previous owner hasn't done any upkeep since 1962. And we can't figure out where that smell is coming from. A great home that just needs a little love at an incredible price. Must see. Investor alert. Location. 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 Zoned for redevelopment. Aerial shots of the property and few to none of the inside. Only photos are from a GoPro on the ISS. And it's obscured by either smoke or a mold spore cloud. Musical instruments, because if you sort low to high you have to get through pages of accessories and cases and stuff before you find the actual instrument. Also, the cheapest version of most instruments is not worth getting. Second-hand pipe organs are unusual in that they're either priced in the thousands or a few pennies. Depends how much help the seller wants to give you in relocating the thing, as well as condition. Of course. Half of them are private owners who want to sell them for what they paid, the other half are builders clearing out a church who just want it gone with as little fuss as possible. BRB. Gonna try to convince the wife we have space for a pipe organ. Pretty much anything when I look on eBay. If you price low to high there's dozens of pages of stuff that's like $1. If you sort high to low it doesn't take long to sort through the really expensive stuff and then you get to the stuff you want quicker. On Craigslist, people will list their crap for $1 to game the search results. Then include a much higher price in the description. Similarly on Amazon a lot I will see something like, $25 cost $0 shipping, $5 cost $20 shipping. An eBay item listed cost $1 $50 $50 equals item you want $1 equals 1 foot micro USB cable. I wish they would enforce that the title needs to match the items actually being sold in the listing. This problem plagues AliExpress too. Houses. Just to see what I can't afford. I once found an actual castle for sale some 20 kilometers from where I live. By doing that, still cheaper than an apartment in NYC or some such. This is Luxembourg. Property prices aren't exactly low here. Luxury. Embour. Recorders on Amazon. The top result had a 1-star review saying it sounds like fart on this freaking one. 000 wood recorder. Good recorders are so fucking expensive. Especially if you play alt or bass. And even if you play it good everyone laughs at you for playing a children's instrument. Just get a clarinet and stop being bullied. Spoken like a non-clarinetist. More like get a clarinet and keep getting bullied. My high school clarinet section was huge and I hated being a part of it so much. LMAO. I was given a clarinet because when it was time to choose instruments in elementary school I was too small to carry a sax. I was looking for a new blender and saw one for $500. I was convinced they couldn't get more expensive than that and wanted to check. Yeah. Who the hell is willing to spend over $2,000 on a freaking blender? 3D printers. It's easier to skip 2 pages of 10 pounds. 000 printers than to skip 60 plus pages of $2 printer nozzles. It kinda concerns me that you move halfway across the world in the middle of your sentence. On a British keyboard those are right next to each other on the number row. Tools. I don't always buy the most expensive. But I am so done buying the cheapest. I'm young enough that I plan to get a lot of use out of anything. So I want it to last or at least work very well. This table saw is $300. It's garbage and the table isn't even flat. The measurements aren't accurate and the fence isn't square to the blade. Or this table saw is $2,000 and you'll have it for the next 40 years. It's solid and works beautifully. I grew up with the philosophy to buy cheap. Then when it breaks, Buy high-end. As a new homeowner, I'm doing this. I'm not a damn contractor. Harbor Freight, if it sucks/breaks. Buy something nicer. Leave Snap-on to the pros. I was there 10 years ago. Guess what? Harbor Freight open-ended wrenches still turn nuts. HF recipe saw and plunge saw still work fine. HF metal ruler is still straight. HF clamps still hold my wood projects together. I did spend on a good Milwaukee drill and do not regret that choice though. Feels like the Milwaukee starter set with a drill. Impact drill. Sawzall. Circular saw etc. and batteries was a first hits free. Kid cause now I'm tied to the Milwaukee brand for all future purchases since I have their batteries. The 6-piece set cost $70 per tool. Every tool from now on costs $150 plus it's actually genius. If I'm buying tech stuff, e.g. most recently a wireless keyboard, I'll sort price high to low because I'd rather pay a little bit more for a brand I know/trust/can read reviews of, than a cheaper mode. Didn't always do it that way. But it seems to work out as more economical because they last longer. I'll just go on /r/buildup sales and sort by which links have a comment saying this is it. Chief. That sounds useful. I'll probably end up using it to get an idea for what a good sale price is and end up getting something else. Used cars. Top of the range versions of cars are very rare where I'm from. So it makes it easier to find the higher trim levels. Sports models when looking for a specific make and model. And I'm talking about sub 10K cars here. Not supercars. Same. Usually I'll set up the filter to show me all the cars under $20,000. Then sort high to low and look at what's available in budget. This is exactly what I did. Pick a budget. Sort high to low under that budget. This is a good way to shop for anything really. I almost always do. I want to see the overpriced items and compare them to the mid and low priced ones. I almost always find something similar for half the price of the most expensive version. This. Had to scroll too far to find what I do. I find the features of the highest priced items that I appreciate most and then find the cheapest items that have those features. Many times you can also check the reviews of that product to see if those features hold up to the rigor of everyday use. As sometimes the cheaper quality part will yield or break earlier than a higher quality counterpart. Most times there is a middle ground product that uses high enough quality parts to last a long time and also has additional features that help certain functions perform better. Don't forget that high price doesn't mean good quality in every case. Look at things like Beats headphones and sunglasses. Camera lenses. If you haven't tried you will be surprised. I got to hold a Sony 400mm f2.8 that's midway when it comes to expensive lenses. And I was scared of it. Used to do it on ebooks. Looking for crazy rare first edition/signed copies and stuff. Could never afford any of that shit. But it was always tantalizing to look. Yep. Ebooks is my answer too. And not just for first editions and rarities. Sometimes it's just to bypass the noise. Lately, for my work, I've been looking for the earliest possible books about retirement and personal finance. If I search those terms and sort low-high, I get hundreds or thousands of common books in crappy condition. If I search high-low, I get the older and rarer stuff that's more useful for my research. There are lots of reasons to sort high-low. Watches. To see what I'm never going to buy. The other reason. If you're about to visit a store to look at something you might buy. Knowing the high end of their offerings lets you know what else you can try on while you're there. I've never had a store refuse to show me the $200,000 piece that they've got in the case. Butter. Laundry detergent. I live the high life. I'm with you on butter. Man. That makes a great difference in the kitchen. Spend 50% on the expensive stuff, savings, and 300% on the stuff you appreciate. Wanted a decent high-end graphic card. So sorted high to low. The most expensive one ended up being nearly 10,000 USD. Which was quite a shock. Those really expensive ones are workstation cards. Meant for things like CAD and CGI/animation rather than gaming. And let's not forget Bitcoin mining. Which is one of the main reasons why the price of graphics cards got driven up. Graphics cards were usually used to mine altcoins, not bitcoins. And it isn't really profitable anymore. It's only profitable if you don't foot the electricity bill. Scotch. My sweet spot is around $150 CAD, but it's fun to check out the $75,000 CAD bottles. I have a Japanese whiskey I bought for $300 as a splurge. And the next time I looked it up, the same bottle had just sold at auction for $12,000. Weirdly, it didn't taste any better than it did at $300. Restaurants, so I can see what's on the fancy menus. I learned of this in my bar management class. Those are anchor items. Usually outrageously overpriced items which subconsciously convince you that other items are more reasonable and encourage you to spend more. A $25 steak seems like a lot. But when they have a $58 steak, it seems like a better deal. Typically anchor items are not even high quality or their best items. If you want a good experience, you don't buy anchor items, you go to a different restaurant that regularly serves that dish. There's another reason for it: expense accounts. Lots of restaurants have an expensive item on the menu. Often a steak. That business travelers and people taking clients out for dinner can charge to the company and don't really care what it costs, within reason. Expenses hookers to my business account. I do this whenever I'm looking for quality in something rather than affordability. It's not too different from sorting by low to high, since I usually end up buying from somewhere in the middle because the highest priced items are usually rips-offs. Yeah. It's the difference between getting the best thing you can afford vs the cheapest thing that is acceptable. If you start at the top, you can see what you are compromising to get a lower price. If you start at the bottom, you see what you get for a little more money. I have done it on Amazon just for fun. Behold, $700 salt and pepper shakers. And $12,000 shower curtains. Completely unremarkable ones. That shit's gotta be a money laundering scheme. In some cases it's algorithmic pricing gone wild. Marketplace sellers with great reviews will sometimes have algorithms that are set the price to what the competitors charge plus 10%. When you get two of these fighting each other, you can get second-hand unremarkable paperbacks priced at $20,000. That's actually really funny. It gets better. Some of the marketplace book vendors don't even hold stock. They use a 5 rating to price higher than the competition. Then when they get an order, they simply buy the book from someone cheaper on Amazon and have it drop shipped directly to the customer. It's wild. I often do that on real estate sites just to daydream. TBH, most of the super expensive stuff looks so gaudy and lame that I'd almost be embarrassed to live there. Real estate really drives home the point that money doesn't buy taste. The only thing I've ever done this with was a pillow. Last year, my old man, who's bedridden, was complaining about his head and neck overheating. So I went out to find a solution. The most expensive pillow had this special memory foam and built-in gel padding. It was $200. The cheapest was about $10. Negligible because it didn't do what we needed, which was keep his skin cool. I still can't believe I spent that much on a pillow. But it was for someone I love. The crazy thing is, everything I buy for myself, except underwear, I buy second-hand. I prefer to recycle clothing rather than waste resources creating more, and I try never to buy clothing with microfiber either. It's Kinder on the Earth. Edit. Typo. And. How did he like the pillow? My wife and I bought pillows like this at Ashley Furniture. As someone who has spent his whole life flipping pillows periodically at night to always find the cool side of the pillow, I can tell you they are game changers. I can honestly sometimes sleep entirely through the night because my face is so comfortable that I don't want to get up to pee in the middle of the night. Damn, I need to get one. I feel like people with a lot of disposable income are leading much better lives than the rest of us because of minor changes like this. That sounds like a really obvious observation. But I would never even think to spend a lot of money on a pillow. May sound privileged, but usually everything. Especially clothing sites. There are usually really good deals in the middle. And it's easier to scroll through the most expensive because the items are larger. Low-high, you may be scrolling through pages of earrings. High-low, you've got pages full of jackets, shirts, pants. And it's usually straight to the point. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I really hate scrolling through pages of earrings or socks and underwear. I just want to see the good shit. Can you not just filter out the earrings, etc.? Or, like, just click on the jackets tab? I find ops case to hold true for Amazon. Even if you filter, you can sometimes still get a lot of crap included in the results. In those cases, I sort high to low with some type of price cap and then see what I can find. Cat food. You are either giving the best meals to your companion, or experimenting with budget lazy lunch ideas. Great answer. Either way. My brother used to buy gourmet cat food for his cat that you could give to a human and raise no questions. It was slices of beef, with peas and carrots, in gravy, and it genuinely looked good. Some of the canned cat food smells so good even if it looks questionable. I'm not saying I'm surprised by that gourmet dish for cats. But wow. Tools. I have a hoe that cost $49. There's a hammer I need that is $4,000. Granted, it swings itself with 250 tons of force and it's a cheap one for what it is. The reason for buying expensive tools is that they are actually cheaper than cheap tools. A very cheap tool might not even do the job. A kind of cheap tool isn't going to last long. An expensive tool is more likely to be heirloom quality if you take care of it. There's a hammer I need that is $4,000. Granted, it swings itself with 250 tons of force and it's a cheap one for what it is. Could you link me to this product? I'm extremely curious as to how this works. Yes. During Steam sales there are often hundreds of games that are originally $1. 5 that is discounted to $0. 5 or something. And most of them are not really worth playing. So I sort from highest price to find large games that are good and get the most out of the sale. Like Divinity Original Sin. As an example. Yeah, scrolling through Steam listings looking for cheap gems nowadays is a bit like bobbing for apples in a septic tank. Better to use bundles to pick up games for cheap. On AliExpress when I'm looking for a deal on a larger quantity of something. What I most enjoy is the Eastern Europeans in the comment section complaining about things that cost next to nothing. Their reviews are the only ones I trust. Well, to be fair, for them it might not be nothing. I know what you are getting at, but we are talking things that cost 63 cents with shipping included. Here's a funny tidbit. There was some sort of prohibition on selling sex toys, so for a while people on there were selling a self-defense device called the Stinger that was clearly a bejeweled butt plug. When I was a student I liked looking through stationery from China. Never ordered because 50 cents was a high price for a pen for me. But yet, there's a limit to what one can see as pricey. Thanks for the story. That's nice. The creativity of people always amaze me. Snakes. I was just curious what the expensive morphs look like. No way I can afford them. when I was frequently playing with new MTG cards. I'd usually look up prices before going to a limited event, so I'd know what could be traded and what was dross. The easiest way was to simply sort it high to low and scroll down until I reached the non-tradable cards. Gucci. But I can't even afford the low-price stuff. I feel you. I absolutely love a lot of Versace's designs, but I can't justify spending $400 on a t-shirt, and I don't want to buy replica knockoffs either. I have bought expensive clothing before, but only stuff I expect to last for many years or even life. High-end leather jackets, boots and sunglasses, mainly with designs so unique nothing else cheap comes close, or looks or feels tacky when they try to. I'd rather just get the real thing and accept it cost a week's pay if I'm gonna be using it for years. Versace though is still beyond what I can consider reasonable with my current earnings, but they're on my shopping hit list if I ever win the lotto, lol.